Welcome back to your Caribou Data Science channel. It's the evening of March or February 4th, 2020. I'm getting ready to do a quick quick analysis for the state of Texas. As you recall, earlier this week, Governor Abbott lifted all restrictions, COVID-19 restrictions in the state of Texas. Of course, the CDC is screaming like a banshee. The liberal media is all over him. But here's the question for you: if all these mandates and controls work, why do we still have a second wave in the fall? Okay. Of course, it could indicate that people aren't following the mandate for the most part. And if people aren't following the mandate, then why are the mandate to begin with? But anyway, okay. Let's just take a quick look at Texas numbers here, shall we? These are cumulative totals. Cumulative totals are not really that helpful simply because they can only go up. Let's see some here now. Let's take a look at monthly or daily cases for Texas. You can see here, again, the question is this: if all these mandates have been in effect, let's say here, why do we still have the biggest waves, the biggest spike so far? And why all of a sudden in January did these numbers start to fall? Okay, deaths. Texas deaths are below about on average about 350. Okay, spiking up above 400. Why? Again, if all these mandates were in place back in the fall, then why do we still have a spike? And why all of a sudden in January, if nothing's changed as far as mandates, why did the deaths start to decline? Let's take a look at weekly numbers here now, shall we? Well, this is the mortality rate. Now, remember, a mortality rate is a ratio of cases to deaths. So if cases decline, okay, and deaths decline, but and even though deaths remain the same, or they decline at a lesser rate than cases, then this mortality rate will go up. So this could be an indication that the gap between narrowing cases is getting closer. What about some monthly numbers here? Okay, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 out of the last 7 weeks we saw a decline from this peak back over here. In cases or deaths, cases you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. Cases you saw all these weeks here were below this spike here, and all these weeks here were below this spike here. Let's take a look at some monthly numbers now. Okay, monthly cases. Look at the drop in cases from January to February. Look at the drop in deaths from January to February. Let's take a look at per capita numbers, see what this looks like. Okay, currently, the cases per capita in Texas is about 0.05%. Okay, 0.1%, 1%, or maybe 0.5%, a half a percent. No, it's 0.05%, right? This would be 1%. This would be 0.1%. This would be 100%, right? 0.05%. Okay, not 5%, not a half a percent. 0.05%. Okay. What about deaths? Deaths are about 1/10,000,000, 0.001%. Okay. The mortality rate, the deaths per capita from COVID-19 is currently stands at about 1,000%. Right? 1%, a tenth, a hundredth, a thousandth of a percent. Okay? So that concludes the report for Texas. Does this mean that, does this data support Governor Abbott's decision? No, I think it certainly raises some very important questions. How serious, in terms of the total population, how serious is COVID-19 a threat? And to go back to the original question, if all these mandates are in effect all last year, then why do we still have a spike in the winter? If nothing changed, then why do we still see a spike in the winter? Okay, that's the question I have to ask. If masks really work, then why are cases and deaths increasing? Why do we have a second wave? I call it a second wave uh, last winter. Okay, because you can see that rate goes up. The per capita rate goes up beginning in about November. But why does that go up? Okay, anyway, so that's just my question. There's no one probably wants to answer. So that concludes this report on Texas for today. It remains to be seen whether or not the question is going to be, will cases and deaths go above this here on average? Will we see a bigger spike here? What happens if we do this, right? And we have another wave, but the wave isn't any bigger than this. Okay, anyway, that's just some food for thought for you. Thanks so much for stopping. I'll be back in just 5 minutes with the same report for the state of Mississippi, which also lifted some restrictions. Thanks so much for your time, Texas. One favor, share this report with one of your Longhorn buddies today, okay? Share it with just one person. Share it with one of your friends today, okay? Thanks so much for your time. We'll catch you on a later report.